What's up, guys? It is Michael
and Tommy
with the Fastlane car, and behind us is, of course, our trusty 2001 Pontiac Aztek. So, Tommy, I'm pretty excited today because we finally get to take a deep dive into this thick stack of papers right here and talk about exactly what has been wrong and what is currently wrong with our Aztek.
Yep, this car is a 2001 GM product with well over 193,000 miles. So we're gonna get into some receipts and tell you just how much it's cost to run this old pile over 190,000 miles. And I'm not gonna tell you how much, but it's over it's over 10 grand.
It's a lot of money.
Alright, a little bit of background about the Aztek. Now, we bought this about 3 or 4 months ago for about $1,500, and the previous owner owned it for 16 years, bought it right off of GM, who used it for a little while as a promotional vehicle for the Winter Olympics in Park City, Utah. So it's got a little bit of provenance behind it. Now, it has 193,000 miles, and for its age, it's actually in really good shape. So the paint is pretty good. We, of course, covered it in this cool camo wrap. Be sure to check out that video. All right, Michael, what's it look like mechanically?
Terrible.
Terrible?
It's a 3.4 liter V6 that makes not nearly as much power as it did when it was new, I'm sure. When it was original, Tommy, how much did it make?
It was like 184.
That is not a lot. Now I'm guessing it's well below 150. Andre and I have taken this to the drag strip where we actually ended up racing a highway patrolman. We lost pretty badly.
The previous owner had a bunch of kids and stuff's happened, so it's full of little scrapes and dings here and there. A little bit of a blemish here. It was run into, well, a big rock essentially by the previous owner, but that doesn't really matter because Azteks, of course, are covered in this side molding, which also looks pretty good for 16, 17 years old now.
Here on the inside of the Aztek, there's a number of things that do work, and then a few things that don't. The things that do work, all these, the window switches, the door locks, they work fine. The lights work.
Automatic headlights, mind you.
Automatic headlights, that somehow works.
Fog lights?
Fog lights work.
Coming around the back, it's all pretty straight. No accidents according to the previous owner, and we've looked into it a little bit, and it looks to be pretty clean. All the glass is intact.
One part of the light system doesn't work. If you're indicating right, the high beams come on. That's a little strange.
Now, this is one great thing about owning such an affordable car like this Pontiac is I was backed into by someone with a trailer hitch, it looks like, but do I really care? Not really.
Yeah, look at this. We have many modes. Oil left. Oh, wow, that's not a lot, Tommy. We gotta reset that soon. English and metric. Wait. Oh.
Yep, outside temperature.
Personalization, don't care.
Average fuel economy, 20.6. As clean as the paint is, this one door is just junk. So for whatever reason, the left driver rear door is just completely faded and completely gone. I'm not sure why this door took so much damage because the other doors are okay. But like I don't really care that much. It's covered in stickers.
And then we get to my favorite feature, Tommy. And the only really cool feature in this whole car, it has a heads-up display, Tommy. Look at that.
Does it work, Michael?
You can see.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, look at that.
Check gauges.
It's accurate too. We're not going anywhere because we're in the studio. So that's super cool, and because I'm a big boy and I can pack my own lunch, it has a cooler. Look at that. How fun is that? And it's also your center console.
So, you know, honestly, these 3400 series of GM motors, they were used in a lot of things, and they weren't super great. They were known for head gasket failure, intake gasket failure. This has had both of those things done.
So, Tommy, you've just made an astute observation that the word gauges typically is spelled with the letter U coming after the letter A. But in the instance of our Pontiac Aztek, they have elected to just drop the U.
For some reason.
It's just like Gagis or something. Gajes.
Now the other thing about this engine in this particular Aztek, it runs really well given the mileage. The transmission shifts smooth. It doesn't slip. The power steering actually has gone out on us in the first few months, so it doesn't really work
At all.
Yeah, and the pump kind of squeals, so we're gonna get that fixed.
Right, now obviously when you're driving on the highway, that's not a big issue because you can just turn the wheel pretty easily, but like parking, moving around small lots, small turns, that's, you know, it's just a chore, which a modern car with power steering shouldn't have. You mentioned this was like a family car before, right? And the dad apparently played the CD VeggieTales for his kids a lot, but that CD is kind of stuck.
Yeah, so VeggieTales is completely jammed up the CD player.
Yeah, we can't get it out. The car farted again. That's not a good noise.
Remove CD2. Yeah, we can't do that.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Now check this out, guys. Powered door locks with keyless entry. And that all still works, which is pretty neat. The previous owner of the Aztek had a bunch of kids, so you'd expect the interior to be a disaster zone. And on the condition-wise, it's pretty darn good, actually. The seats are in good shape for almost 200,000 miles. The steering wheel isn't chewed to death. The dash isn't cracked, which is interesting. You know, coming in the back, it's all pretty much there. You know, one thing I have noticed about living with this car for a while is the amount of rear seat just room in general is pretty terrible. So GM actually based this vehicle off the U-body minivan platform, so you'd think there'd be a ton of rear seat room, but there's not. It does need to be said, though, that the radio itself does work, so FM, AM works, and it sounds pretty good because we have like 8 speakers in here, and it's an Alpine audio system, which
Not
is
bad.
pretty cool for
Not
$1,500
bad,
bucks. Heated seats, those all work. That's your trunk. Yeah, popper.
Yep.
And then we have a sunroof.
Wow.
Does that work, Michael?
That's a great question, Tommy.
Oh.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Sure does work, Tommy.
So check out this rear liftgate. Of course, you can actuate it via the key fob. And these seats, which are perfect for studying. These are like perfect college study seats.
Studying, Tommy?
Yep, studying. Look, so a little bit of a secret here. I've been driving this car to and from school a ton because I just really don't want to put miles on my Jeep, my baby, especially with those brand new tires in that lift. I'm always worried about it. With the Aztek, I can park within 2 centimeters of some bro in a lifted F350 with 37s who clearly is going to run into me or open his door to me. I really just don't care in my $1,500 Aztek. So I've got my CU books here, Data Science for Business.
Oh, wow.
And I just sit here in the college parking lot reading these. So
Is that what you do with your spare time, Tommy?
That is what I do with my spare time.
So are these like pencil cup holders?
Yeah, yep, so I've got my pencil cup holders and I've got my my holder for my chocolate milk. And I can sit here all day. So the other things that don't work, these no longer illuminate at night, so you have to kind of just guess what gear you're going into.
Oh no.
We of course have to have our little tree because it does smell a little funky. And my personal favorite feature of the Aztek is the glove box, which does not do what it is supposed to do. So you know the interior quality is a little bit suspect here and there.
Abysmal. It's terrible.
It's not abysmal.
Tommy, it's really bad.
It doesn't rattle in here when you're driving down the road, which is pretty cool. It's actually
you're driving on like the smoothest surface known to man.
Oh, come on, Michael. It doesn't rattle. Look, we've got these Bentley inspired.
Really?
Yeah, I think actually Bentley stole this from Pontiac.
Bentley inspired.
Well,
Tommy, this feels like a toy I would buy at the mall.
Yeah, but it works well and you feel cool using it.
The AC does blow cool.
Yep, so AC does work. I think heat works.
Look, they specify that the left side is for the driver and the right side is for the passenger.
In case you didn't realize
you didn't really
that.
know that.
Other things I got back here are, of course, the radio controls for when you're out studying.
Which are basically useless, right?
They work, Michael. They work.
Well,
they work fine.
okay.
I've got power and check that out. I've got an air pump.
Which is also useless.
How is this useless? The air pump works not so well, but it's there, which is cool.
Yep.
In theory, what you can do with it is fill up the air mattress that's supposed to fit back here, bike tires, heck, maybe even your car tire.
Have you tried filling anything up, Tommy?
I have. I tried to fill up a bike tire.
Yeah, see, I think the operative word there is tried. How'd that go?
Well, it took a very long time because it's a little bit worn out, but it does still pump air very slowly. And I even have the factory Aztek tubing,
In
which
red, wow.
hooks straight up.
Holy moly.
The jack is still here. You know, the trunk is actually pretty cavernous. You know, compared to my other car that I drive, that Jeep.
Which has like the most useless trunk on the planet.
Yeah, and a useless back seat. I could actually fit more than like a loaf of bread without completely maxing out. Okay, so we brought you in here to our conference room to show you this. We have stacks and stacks of paperwork about the Aztek dating back to right around 2006. And I went ahead and did a ton of math, addition, and totaled up all of the receipts. But before we do that, we've got some other cool things. We have the frequently asked questions about your 2001 Aztek. Okay, Michael, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Why can't I turn the headlights off? This is a real question, frequently asked questions. So we've got the 24-hour roadside assistance in the Aztek owner's manual. Every 2001 Aztek under warranty is back with the following services: free lockout assistance, free dead battery assistance, out of fuel assistance, flat tire. And here is the 24-hour roadside assistance number.
We've got the number dialed in.
Thank you for calling Pontiac Roadside Assistance. For service in English, press 1. Para servicio en español, oprima 2.
What?
If you are in a life-threatening situation, please hang up and call 911 immediately.
This is
If
crazy.
you're requesting roadside assistance for the first time, please press 1. If you want to check on the status of an earlier roadside service request, please press 2.
So I've got receipts dating back to right around 2006. There's receipts for everything. There's Jiffy Lube stuff that is just $45 for wiper blades and oil filters and oil. And then there's some, well, let's be honest, more expensive stuff. This receipt, for example, is $1,174. So if you take all of these receipts and add them up, you're looking at right around $11,805.68 since 2006 to keep this Aztek on the road. So some of the bigger receipts, $2,200 for a head gasket. These 3400 series engines were known to have head gasket problems. Intake gaskets, that was replaced for $1,000. We've had all of the control arms replaced at some time or another. Hub assemblies for $620. Heater blower has been a constant problem with this Aztek. Put hundreds of dollars into the heater. Alternators, the mass airflow sensor was replaced earlier this year at $279. So there's a lot of stuff that has been replaced on the Aztek. Brakes. Interestingly, the engine has never been overhauled other than that head gasket. So that'll probably go while we own the vehicle.
Yeah, it's gonna go like this week.
Don't say that. The transmission, once again, no major overhauls. All-wheel drive system is still original. It looks like based off of these receipts. But it's pretty amazing that this guy put almost $12,000 into this car over a course of 10 years.
To then go on and sell it for a grand total of $1,500.
$1,500. So if you do the math and you do 11,805 divided by that 11-year period, right around $1,100 a year.
Whoa.
But that's pretty much the entire history of our Pontiac Aztek. So a lot of stuff that does work and a lot of stuff that maybe doesn't.
More stuff that doesn't.
No, more stuff that does. I've actually really, as much as
you love this car, Tommy. You've really grown to like this car.
I really like the Aztek. Yeah, I really just think it's a nice car to drive. It's quiet. It's refined. Anyways, guys, we will hope to see you next time for more Aztek videos. If you enjoyed this one, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe.
Yep.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Or don't. Or do.
Better do.
I mean, I'd rather you did, but
Or don't.
sometimes you're just having a bad day. No.
And I bet when winter rolls around, Michael's gonna be begging to drive the Aztek.
Tommy, there will be 0 scenarios ever in existence in which I beg you to drive the Aztek.
Colorado winter, mark my words.
Not gonna happen.
Well, stay tuned for that, because that'll be fun.